Thank you very much, Juan, and it's very nice to see you all here today. As mentioned, I'm here to introduce you a little bit to the results of our 2023 satisfaction survey, a survey that was administered to all of our eligible organizations, our 42 eligible organizations, amongst which are the 22 members of the PCWP that are sitting here or following us from home today. And the idea behind the survey was really a kind of need to map the perceptions and the needs of our eligible organizations that represent a big part of the engagement activities that we perform daily at EMA. In the past, satisfaction surveys had really focused on capturing the experience of individual experts, but as we move more towards surveying this experience on an activity-specific basis, we kind of observed the need to really come to you and ask you about your impressions of our activities, of our engagement activities. And to this purpose, also, the same was done with the healthcare professional organizations. So the goals of the survey run from the 23rd of February to the 24th of March this year. A lot of you may have seen it, as a lot of you are also amongst the respondents. The survey goals were really to assess the organization's satisfaction levels, to kind of gather a baseline of this level of satisfaction, to understand feedback and information on where we are and where we're going. Based on these results, we can kind of improve engagement activities moving forward. So the first striking aspect of the survey was quite a low participation rate. 9 responders, of which 4 members of the PCWP. And this, I think, tells us a lot. It raises some questions on the relevance of surveys and also on the capacity of engaging with us through this methodology, but it also raises some questions as to kind of who is representing this silent majority of non-responders. But diving a little bit into the results, the first question we asked was, how satisfied are you with your current level of engagement with EMA as an organization? I think we can see that the satisfaction levels are generally quite high, with most people scoring satisfied or very satisfied. And picking out a little bit from the comments, some of the reasoning behind this level of satisfaction, recurring remarks focused a lot on the possibility of representing one's community, the variety of activities, and also the good interactions with EMA and with its staff, which obviously we are very pleased to hear. And so a lot of positive comments, some more nuanced comments, mostly related to the necessity of involving patients more systematically in the benefit-risk evaluation part of the regulatory life cycle of a medicine. And then some of the comments that we most frequently observe, when we're talking about patient engagement, so some of the more frequent challenges, which are commonly around issues of timelines of the evaluation of the regulatory procedures and difficulties identifying patients that are representative. So a second question that was asked is, how would you rate as an organization the value of being an eligible EMA organization? And again, we see quite high scores, with most people scoring either very valuable or valuable. Most of the recurring remarks focusing around this kind of EMA eligibility brand, bringing legitimacy to an organization, representing an opportunity for regular communication with us, a forum for EU representation, and then the access to this working party. And this is a little bit what came out in some of the comments. And also, when asked about the actual reasoning to engage with EMA, this was also reflected, with the most common reasons given for engaging with EMA being kind of raising awareness of issues relevant to your organizations, informing and consulting, updating on EMA ongoing activities, and so on. And when asked what other relevant reasons, there was obviously the access to PCWP and the possibility of representing rare disease communities. Now, when looking at topics of interest, we thought we would show the results here mapped against the results of healthcare professional organizations, because first of all, we can see that in patient organizations, there is a high interest for topics such as patient experience data, the needs of special populations, big data clinical trials, and to some extent, this is reflected also in healthcare professional organizations, but actually we do see a little bit of a divergence here with what healthcare professional organizations expressed as their key interests. For example, shortages in access to authorized medicines or digital health and therapeutics. And this in some way highlights that the multi-stakeholder approach that we're encouraging is obviously relevant, but that to some extent, there needs to be the opportunity to listen and to engage with the two communities on different aspects and different interests. And for patients, other topics that came up in the comments were very much linked to product-specific regulatory topics. When talking about preferred methodologies for engagement, there were quite some preferences expressed towards multi-stakeholder workshops and dedicated webinars or online sessions, which somewhat reflects the work that this department has been performing in the last years and will continue to work towards. And in terms of how your organizations promote the visibility of their interactions with the EMA, there is a high percentage of promotion within an organization's membership, but also a high degree of multi-channel promotion, with actually a lot of organizations expressing their kind of active promotion on social media as well as through other means. Finally, I want to conclude with a few comments that I think really stress that you believe what we're doing here is of value, that our engagement is mutually beneficial, and also that to a certain extent it represents something to raise awareness or to promote patient representation also within the network, for example, to NCAs or through exercises such as the restructuring of the working parties. And so general conclusions, I think we can say that generally there was a high level of satisfaction and the comments were very positive, with of course the caveat of the low participation, which leaves questions about the views of this silent majority. There was a high recognition of the value for organizations of being EMA eligible organizations. The topics of interest and the methodologies seem to be reflective of the agency's priorities on the work that we're doing together. And the concerns raised were mostly around product-specific involvement. And these results will hopefully feed into the discussions of today and our future discussions on the work of the PCWP, on the operations of the PCWP, and on our engagement together. So thank you very much. And any questions?